Like I've been holding you guys back, but it's cool.
Not necessarily, but then again.
Oh my god, 61051. It is 14 minutes gone past 7, and you know what time it is. It is time for Girlish, where your girls align and talk about different things happening in our lives. Melody's in the building. Baby Sasa is here.
Hola.
Tara is here. We don't want to hear your voice. It's fine.
No, she's going to scream. Please let us hear
I'm
her
not
voice.
screaming.
Jesus.
Baby, I've missed you.
Kungari, I.
For someone who lives in Nigeria, Tara is too excited.
Yeah.
Girl, have you not heard? That is how you can definitely like live life to the fullest.
Okay.
Whatever comes your way, just be excited about it.
So
like,
cute.
alhamdulillah.
And
And move on.
I see. One day I'll tap into me, but right now I'm living my reality. I'm living in Nigeria. There is nothing to be gingered about.
I know.
I just one day by day.
Well, there's something to be happy about.
Yeah.
I mean, our Super Falcons, they've qualified to the next one. So, I mean, we can latch onto that and just, yes, be excited.
That's why I like women. They just be coming through with happy things and fun things sometimes. Yeah. So shout out to Super Falcons for making us happy today.
Yeah.
So aside from Super Falcons and Melody, Tara, and Vibes that have been in the building, we are not alone. We are joined by other girls in the building.
Pretty girls, you have to emphasize.
That's the first thing that Tara
Killing it.
mentioned.
No, like they're so pretty. Like I think they take their skincare like
Thank you,
super
Tara.
serious. Honestly, it's like oh god, when
I can't even like for every time that I have seen Simi Badru, her lashes are always on fleek.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, never to be caught on fresh.
Never,
Never.
ever.
So wait. So when you do you swim?
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I take care of like my lashes are like my babies. So
Are you serious?
like it's a serious every
Boy.
month, once a month I go do them, take care of them. When they start falling out, go and refill. Always have to. Please,
For some people, it's their
It's like
nails.
part of their
Do you
skincare
understand?
process.
Yeah. For some
Yeah.
people, it's their nails.
Lashes
give you
good
Other
skin.
people, it's the hair.
Yeah.
Sorry, no.
Lashes gives you good skin. Can't you see how I look?
I've heard some people
It makes it pop.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
people say it makes your skin pop actually. And Simi Badru's skin is always popping. I need to learn how to do that.
How to leave your eyelashes on, basically.
Yeah,
It's fine work.
35 minutes after fixing it.
I'm
Melody
always-
cannot.
I
Oh
can't.
God.
But yeah, from Simi Badru, of course, I'll take some lessons. But shout out to both of you. Aside from you guys always looking on fleek and your skincare always being on point, you guys are the host of FNS Uncensored, a podcast that has been running for quite a while
How long
in
down?
Nigeria.
5 years in October.
Yo.
Congratulations already.
Thank you. Thank you.
How did you celebrate the anniversary last year?
We never celebrate. We just tweet like, yay.
So we
1 year,
we
3rd
celebrate
year.
more of milestones. So like when we get to like 200
200
episodes, 100,
episodes.
150, rather than years.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That makes
nice.
sense.
Yeah.
But how did you guys link to this and decided to do a podcast together? Like, not like you guys are siblings.
Well, we might as well be at this point.
I
By
agree.
the time she tells you how we met.
So that was
Yeah, I
the
know.
story.
So okay, how did we meet?
Yeah.
Wow, okay, we met in secondary school. I actually didn't like her on the first day. We met in the school shop. And then like her mom was there, her brother was there, she was there, and then I was vibing with her younger brother, and I even thought that okay, this is the person that I'm going to school with, because this other person is clearly not part of us, because she did not speak to anybody.
I didn't want
The
to go
next
to
thing,
that
her
school.
mom and my mom were speaking, and then they were like, oh yeah, Simi is going to. And I'm like, and then we now found out we're in the same arm of the same year.
No
I was
way.
like, oh my god, like,
Your
do
stuff.
you understand, like this babe? And we now found out, like, as the months were going, that only two of us liked Afrobeats and loved Wizkid. And then from there, we just knew that okay, somehow we're entering this industry. We don't know how, don't know when, but we're entering. And then one day, shout out to Tinya Alonge. I guess we're always teaching about music and whatever. And then he was like, he just replied to us like, you guys should start a podcast. I was like, you know what? Actually, why not?
If not, at all,
yeah,
why
like
not?
it's not YouTube where you have to like put on makeup every day. And
Yeah.
I mean now it is, but like then
It was just a
it was
podcast.
just a podcast audio, so it was very easy to just like
Click
yeah.
and start.
I want to go back to that why you said why it is rather when then you didn't have to put on makeup and now you have to. What
No,
changed?
because now like it's almost like if you don't
Visuals.
have a podcast, there's no.
If you don't
yeah,
have
but
video.
even
You don't have
with
a
the
visual,
visuals, why can't you like be yourself and just not wear makeup?
I mean, yeah, you can, but like then I just thought like every YouTube channel was like when you see somebody on
The
YouTube,
YouTuber.
like they're all made up and like doing
Right.
something that
Yeah.
has to be
Yeah.
like makeup.
Perfect.
Do you understand?
Right.
Or like it was a talk show, like Oprah was there looking nice, like
Yeah.
and it was just
No, yeah, the whole point of deciding ultimately to do a podcast was because we could have decided to do YouTube, we could have decided to do anything else. It was just, first of all, it's audio.
Yeah.
Secondly,
What
like
you have to say.
all we needed to do was buy one mic. Like when we first started, we had one mic and we used to share it, like talk over the same mic.
Are you
And
serious?
record, just plug into our laptops, record, no editing. So anything you say
Mm-hmm.
is gone.
so the one time that I tried
What?
to edit, Simi said something crazy. And then I now tried to like edit and
So you
like
lost the episode.
no, I didn't lose it, but then for like 10 seconds there was just silence.
Silence.
So I was like, never again. Anything you want to say, think twice.
And we didn't have a producer then. We didn't have any. It was literally just very raw, and we got a jingle online, and we're uploading on SoundCloud. So it was very like, I guess, like your actual raw thoughts, but you also have to be careful because there was no taking back. Once the episode is gone, it's
Oh,
gone.
Otilo.
It's gone.
Okay, I should have said that, but I've said it. Yeah.
So,
that's fine.
I think that is something that maybe growth kind of affects. There's so much control now, and now you have to be extra careful. At the point when you started, I'm sure you guys are just like two young girls talking about your stuff.
We were like,
Ha-
what, 20?
Uh-huh.
We were 18, 19.
So
Like
you
20,
didn't
20.
have 20. You didn't have to bother about anyone chasing you down or wondering what you're saying. But now that there's now a face to the brand,
Do you understand?
now you guys are now more.
Yeah.
For our OG listeners, if they can tell you that back then we would
We were
say
wild.
anything because you don't know what I look like.
FNS uncensored. I
You
mean,
understand?
like, let's
But
go.
now it's like I just cough when I want to say something. It's like, I'll say it off air. Don't worry.
And then being in the music industry doesn't help because
Yeah.
we are also like familiar with a lot of people. So
Just,
I'm not going
you
to
don't
insult
step on
somebody
stone
that
until-
I
it's
understand.
not even that. I'm just not going to insult somebody that I'm likely to see tomorrow. Like if I wasn't in the music industry, I'm more like
That's your business.
it doesn't concern me.
But
But,
like now
then
it's
it's like okay.
and then when people also like based on visuals, people are now recognizing that you're the one with the podcast. You're F. You're S. Oh, where's S? So it's not like okay, people are now paying attention. Let me calm down.
but does it not affect the quality of what you say and also the honesty
No, because I still find a way to say it, but like
more?
there are nicer ways to say things.
The nicer.
Like,
And
usually you
we're
just-
very like raw.
yeah, like
Once
you know,
upon a time.
you actually get like you forget that you're actually speaking to somebody sometimes, like
you
without
two are having a conversation.
and then you now remember that there's a mic in front. Like, let me calm down.
God,
Wow.
I beg. God, I beg.
And it doesn't help that we're best friends, so you can imagine the conversations that we have anyway. Just putting a mic in front of ourselves and being like, okay, let's record this conversation. At some point you have to like be like,
No, but I
okay.
think now we've gotten to the point where it's like you know what to say and what not to say. Like now, like when I want to say something, if I know that I want to speak about this thing that this artist did, I would plan how I would say it on the show rather than just I want to talk about this and not know what angle to take it from.
All right. It's your number one lifestyle station, City 1051. And we've got the host of the FNS podcast in the building. So, I mean, FNS podcast, you spoke about music. Is it just literally about music? Everything music, anything music? Or are there aspects to it? Or like different elements?
So it's music and pop culture, but also personal experiences in the sense that if you listen to the podcast from when we first started to now, you literally see us go from uni to moving back to Nigeria to NYSC to starting one job, leaving one job. Like you can literally see like our entire life journey. So we've gotten like a lot of feedback where people are like, oh, they are graduating uni or they are trying to decide to move back to Nigeria, what job they want to do, and our experiences have helped them shape it. But alongside that, it's also very like music heavy and pop culture heavy because one of the major aims of the podcast is to promote and amplify upcoming talents. Like, period. We have a
We have a
playlist.
playlist that if you speak about your song, most likely will be on that playlist.
And then, so like, so it's all those different things put together that makes it fun.
All right, 5 years down the line. So we can actually call you guys OGs before the IGs now because every Tom, Dick and Harry now has a microphone, two microphones. Just invite anybody, even if you don't have anything to say, just start saying anything.
My boyfriend did not pay for my meal.
Wow.
Oh, should
He
I?
doesn't have anything to
Is he supposed to
offer.
pay my
He doesn't
Uber?
give me transport
Yeah,
fare.
he's supposed to give me Uber.
How do I know if it's love? I don't know.
I don't know. Like, those are the kind of conversations you have now. Just if you can afford a mic, and just upload whatever it is, especially if you now have a following, and you started off where it wasn't even popular. So I mean, then and now, how do you compare the times?
So for us, right, I feel like one thing that we've really been intentional about and like stuck through is being true to ourselves and not complain to like
The gallery
and the industry, and because you have this podcast now, and you want brands and you want this and that, like you're now doing some, bro. The podcast is the podcast. People like the podcast because of what we say, who we were,
and how you say it.
So if you are going to come on and you're going to like, and we're going to do things, we have to do it on our own terms in a way where it works for us.
And
like,
it's organic. And
I'm not like, at the end of the day, we've been doing this for 5 years. We have an audience. I don't need to do clickbait topics to have people listen to the podcast. Like, if you're talking about boyfriend, girlfriend, after like, that's why a lot of podcasts don't go past like 10 episodes, because after that, what else are you going to talk about?
Like, what else? In front, she used this in front of my driving. Like, I think, like,
wow. Okay. Shade much?
No, because it's like for many years, like people are always on our case saying, "Oh, you guys are not controversial enough. You don't say things to get people." And I'm like, that is not why I started my podcast. I didn't start to be controversial or to be gaining enemies because I want followers. Like, I actually don't even want the followers. For the longest time, like my account was locked and whatever. But it's also a thing where over the years, like we've grown in the sense that I'm also happy that we started when we started, because I think if we started now, we'll be under pressure that we need visuals, we need a following, like who knows us, like blah, blah. But like now it's like when you check the numbers, it's like visuals, no visuals, following, no following.
It's
people
going.
are listening.
Right.
It's going. Like people are listening.
So now I'm like thinking that when you all started, and from what you've said, like just previously, it's like you started without necessarily caring about who's watching, who's listening. I was just wanted to air your opinions. And then now I'm thinking like, okay, you're women, you're girls, you're beautiful women, and you started these things, and now bringing it out today, you have men who are doing this, who are talking about all these things and whatnot. Do you think like now there is a competition? Because it's always a competition between boys and girls, men and women. It's unknowing, but it's existing. When you started though, like, were you in Nigeria when you started?
No,
you were not. So you were like just in comfort of your zone abroad doing this before it now became as huge as it is. Now that it's that big, do you now worry about how it's now a male-dominated area when it comes to podcasts?
The reason
I don't think it is.
I don't. Yeah, like because when I think of like the biggest podcast, I'll first of all say I said what I said before I think of any male.
Right.
So and also there, no offense to anybody else, I think I'm next or like so it's a thing where I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, like unless the men are actually speaking about like football or something, most times they're talking about, no offense, irrelevant things or women. Do you understand?
Yep.
So like I see them as do your thing. No, you can't police content, but I can't think of. I don't see it as male dominated.
And I also think that again, like with everything that this age has turned everything into, everything is a numbers game, and it's clickbait, right? So of course, a lot
annoying.
of the podcasts that you see on your TL Weekly have a lot of men talking at their loudest voice. But if you actually go and look back and sit and look at podcasts that people actually sit down, listen to with intention of, I'm going to listen to this podcast and maybe get new music recommendations or be updated on what happened this week in pop culture. Like there are lots of people that listen to us that don't live in Nigeria, are not privy to Nigerian Twitter, and like we're literally like their weekly newspaper. Period.
The plug.
Yeah, like literally. Like so do you understand? It literally just for me is carving your niche. Like everybody cannot be your audience, but you need to be able to at least feed the people that are listening.
And find out why they if you can. Like most of my friends, shout out to them, like they'll message me like, you said this so funny, you said that's so funny. So I also kind of like take feedback to see, okay, this is what people like, and then obviously like
put more into
you need to be intentional. Like we look at the numbers, what episode was the highest or has been the highest,
about there?
Exactly.
It's not just about dishing out content, just saying what you want. You have to get that feedback.
So now
and to people it looks like that, but
that's not what it is actually. So when it comes to like pushing forward podcasts in Africa, how do you think that DSP, what role do you think DSPs play in that conversation?
It's really about PR, to be honest. Like everything in life, if you have the best song, if you have the best podcast, that can be between you and your producer, and nobody will know if you don't push it.
Yeah.
So really, DSPs, all they need to do is really help us market, promo, PR, and yeah.
So far so good. How has that been?
Yeah, shout out to Spotify. Shout out to the reason that way. I mean, honestly, I can't lie. At that period, it was a very tough period for us because we were like, okay, 4.5 years. Or no, was it just about to be 4 years or something? And then we're like, God, like. what's the next step? Are we just going to be speaking for the rest of our lives and just like, is this just going to be a hobby? Like, I mean, no, like it's fine, no, but like we're seeing how people are making money from podcasting. Yeah. And we know we're putting in the work. So like at that point we're like, what is actually happening? And then a week before our 4th anniversary, we got the Spotify
grant.
Yeah.
How did that make you guys feel though?
It made me feel seen. I won't lie, like because again, you're in a space where
work for effort.
You're in a space where, first of all, for I think the first 2 years we're not in Nigeria, so it's very, very difficult to like, you can't be doing it, but you can't connect, you can't do the legwork.
You don't know what's
and then we came back. There was a lot of things that went on that were just like very demotivating. So at that point we were just like, okay, so we're doing this podcast now. We've been talking. We have done 150 episodes. What now? Like, what next? Like, if at the end of this year at least something doesn't jig up, like we're within our rights to be like, you know what,
we're not doing again.
But then that came and it was like, oh, okay, yeah, we're working and the work is being seen.
Okay, so let's go to that conversation. At the point where you guys were announced, like at the point where you guys knew that you were going to receive the grant, how did that make you feel?
It felt mad. Like, it felt like, wow, like our effort is being recognized. Somebody is actually watching, and like, you know, like we've gotten our flowers finally. Like, bro, sometimes you have to be humble, but also like, bro, 4 years of doing,
and we know
every
the work
week
that we put in. Like, people think that we record, like pre-record, and then, you know, release the episodes as the week, but every Sunday morning, well, then it was Sunday morning 9 a.m. we were recording. Now it's Saturday or whatever, but like every weekend we are putting resources together, finding topics to talk about, recording. I know nobody sent us, so it's cool, like, it's a hobby, but the consistency and like the passion, like it is there. Like, if
we're definitely the most consistent podcast in Nigeria.
So you've never missed a weekend?
Okay, no, we have, but
them in 5 years.
See, if we miss this week, if we miss recording like today, worst case scenario, we record. It comes out on Tuesday. We will record Tuesday morning if that's the case.
Yeah.
But if we can't,
gonna drop.
Yeah, but if we can't, then by next week we're back. Except the one time that we had some contract issues and just had to, like, you know, take a break for like 2-3 months. But we needed that break because it was like 3.5 years of just speaking every weekend. And let me not lie, some weekends I'm like, this podcast safe, like, well, we like, I'm not interested, like, please, I beg.
I beg.
Yeah.
So getting that grant was really like, okay, we're still here for now.
So now basically that kind of motivated you guys to
100%.
So at the point where you guys knew you were getting the money, like the grant from Spotify, you felt better with yourself.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that we can even invest into this thing a bit more, like, you know,
because it was also at a point where it was like, this podcast is here, there's no real anything coming from it. It's like, even if we want to go to the next step, how? And then that was like, okay, validation, and like, just come
so wait, is the grant attached to the tag One of a Kind podcast?
No, it's, what's the tag again? Most consistent.
Yeah,
okay.
No, that one we've been putting our one.
Talk to us about that one now.
No,
One of a Kind podcast.
I know it's 10 out.
Most consistent ever. Like,
most consistent. Like, we actually can beat our chest and be like, go and look at your favorite podcasts around. Like, we actually release
out of 52 years in 52 weeks in a year, at least 50 you have a podcast episode.
And you know what, I mean, big shout out to you, because I know that a lot of content creators struggle with consistency,
and even
finance. And finance. But see, consistency, just, you know, being intentional about recording, putting in the work, and, you know, uploading. My goodness,
we recorded through COVID in lockdown.
Whoa.
Like, she was in her house, I was in my house.
How
so imagine sitting at home
during COVID. We didn't miss 1 week.
Obviously.
Then again, like in that instance, there was no inspiration. We were at home, like imagine you're sitting at home every single day.
That should even be able to stop.
All of us know what lockdown was like.
Mentally,
Like, what more could we speak about?
And every week we recorded an episode and released an episode.
I feel like so much was even happening in the pop-up.
Nothing was happening.
Everybody was at home. On
Everything was on a standstill. Yeah, I'm sure I like to go back.
I'm sure if you go back to those episodes, most of the episodes will be we're at home, we're bored. Oh, yesterday DJ Sujo Kirikan went live, DJ Obi and Sars went live to do produce. Like, it would just be all those things.
Right. Okay, so you're on the World Lifestyle Station, and we're having amazing conversations with FNS and yes, FNS, the owners of
FNS Uncensored.
Yeah, FNS Uncensored, right? We talk about literally everything that has to do with music and pop culture. We'll be right back after this. Stay here.
City 1051 FM, your number one lifestyle station.
The ladies are in the studio. We're like five
ladies, but Sarah
having
is
great conversation.
You know,
She is
producer,
as in
camera girl,
research assistant.
I'm here to serve my ladies. I'm here for whatever you need. What you need, Sasa?
Money.
What you need, Mel? Well, I love your shirt too.
I don't care, bro. Give me money.
Giving pickup.
Give you whatever.
All right, the ladies of the FNS Uncensored podcast are still in the building. Okay, so listen, aside the podcast, what do you do? Like, what are you doing right now? Like, do you have a 9 to 5 or?
Yeah.
No,
They're
that's
solely on the podcast.
No, I'm a baby girl, like
I
for
wish
life.
I was so young.
I'm joking.
Okay.
I work as head of artist services and relationships at Trace,
Okay.
9 to 5.
Okay.
I do music curation. And then I do the podcast as well. And then just like I work with artists
On the side.
and decide all the type, the normal entertainment industry lingo. We do everything.
Yeah. How are you?
I work for, it's funny, I work for Urban Partners, but then for Spotify as the communications manager for West Africa. So
Oh, that's you.
thank you.
Okay.
Awesome.
So now, I think my follow-up question would be that I was thinking before Baby asked that question, I was going to ask you like, okay, so tell me then, as a 9 to 5er, if I was going to leave my job just to start a podcast, because I mean, there's money to be made there.
I beg you.
Sister, like,
My dear.
Give me grants.
My
like, really,
dear.
there's money to be made there, and I
Don't
can't
go
be
whine
stressing
yourself,
out
oh.
for somebody. So let me just start a podcast. I'll make as much money as I'm earning as a 9 to 5er.
Amen.
What would you advise such a person
I
who's
would
thinking that,
tell you-
especially women?
Don't try that. When you can find that, please call me. I beg.
I want to join.
No, but on a serious note, don't try yourself.
Don't
Like,
do it.
don't do that. Like, unless you know that you're
Leave
just ready
your
to
job.
unless you know that you're ready to not earn money for God knows how long,
Right.
and
Yeah.
maybe a trust fund baby, and you can do
Yeah.
that. Then by all
That be-
means,
No, it's true.
Please go
That's
ahead.
all.
I promise
That's
you.
anyway.
go ahead.
Because
You can-
let's not even lie, like podcasts are still growing in Africa. It's not something you leave your job where you're earning money for
Yeah.
to do. It's something that you do on the side as a hobby.
Yeah.
Because you just want to share. You just want to share something with
And
the
there's
world.
money to be made in it, so let's not act like
100%.
Yeah.
there's no money to be
As,
made,
yeah.
but it's not like
It's
long
not even
term.
yeah.
It's not sustainable world, not yet, sha. Hopefully we
get to
hope
that
to
point.
be among biggest podcast in Nigeria.
I've been making all the money.
And that's all I do.
Amen.
And
Yeah.
I
then when
won't
you ask
mind.
me what do, I'm a podcaster.
I don't mind that.
But till then, I
That
mean,
would not be bad.
don't quit your 9 to 5.
Right.
It's not sure for you.
Okay, let's talk about the conversations you have on your podcast. What was that? I don't want to say challenging now, but the most controversial episode you've ever had. Can you name a few, or is there one that stands out? Oh, there are a lot. I see that face.
No, they're not that many. So obviously, like earlier this year, we started doing visuals for a bit before we stopped again. And when we started doing visuals, the thing about audio podcasts is that it's difficult for people to drag you because there's nothing to lift.
Yeah.
So for a long
Yeah.
time, like we've played in the same space of it's just audio. So worst case scenario, somebody will come and mention you on Twitter. Why did you say that? But it
But
can't
it won't
go.
blow
Things won't blow up. So
What there's video to it?
Of course.
Visuals, right?
we added visuals,
Shout
and
out
of
to
course,
one
you will have
jobless.
one jobless boy
Shout out to one
on
really
your
jobless
TL.
boy.
So I think we spoke about we had heard somewhere that Logos, Olori, and Ashake were brothers, and so we said, that allegedly, that this was said, but we don't know. Obviously,
not.
but no, fine. But the allegedly was put in that statement.
put in the
statement.
It was like
Yeah.
like we heard that, but we're not sure. Like we can't confirm, but somebody said, and
Alright.
Omo, hey, you think
Yeah.
that maybe we said that Ashake is it's crazy. I mean, you think that maybe we actually insulted somebody and it was really bad. Like they went off
They
for
went
like
crazy.
3 days.
And it wasn't controversial.
dragging.
We heard though.
Just say.
No,
from
the dragging
what
was
you
a lot.
say.
And the controversial one for me is we featured on one of our other friends' podcast. Shout out to Wonu, Oshikaya Speaks. And me, all I said was, I don't think that She Vibes and Ashake sound the same. I just don't think they sound the same, and I don't know how they. I asked me that, did you post something somewhere that why are people following me all of a sudden on Instagram? They're like, something is not right. Then next thing, someone now mentioned me, I guess, in the comments and insulted me. I said, aha.
I know. Now I know.
No, but they don't sound alike.
They do.
They do.
They do.
Exactly.
They don't sound alike.
Thank you.
Makes more sense.
I mean,
say he makes absolutely
I didn't even
more
insult.
sense
I
than
said,
I'm saying it.
Hey,
Like,
God.
you
see,
said.
you can
You understand?
but I literally said, I don't think they sound the same.
They don't
I
sound
like
the same.
two of them
And
in their different
Tara,
ways.
what you
and
just said now is rubbish. Because
Sorry,
rubbish.
what are you saying?
both of them.
Sorry.
She Vibe says a lot of really good stuff and really important
He
stuff.
does. I don't listen to him.
Then
so
how
maybe-
can you judge?
No, I'm judging because from what I have listened to.
You don't listen to him, but for what
No,
you're doing now, as a
listen to
presenter,
him.
doesn't she listen to the
You
show
understand? I
that
listen to what he
gets
says,
played?
and I'm
She
sorry.
doesn't speak Yoruba. She doesn't understand Yoruba.
Let's not digress. Let's not digress.
She's from the microphone.
Okay, listen. During that period, how were you able to make use of the, not the popularity now, but then they say good publicity, bad publicity, all that publicity.
I will even tweet the full link that this is the full
Yeah,
video.
like,
Hear what we
You're
have
not
said.
for that.
And it's also a thing where
I just
like,
don't read the comments. Like I've learned from other people. Don't read what people are saying about you.
And-
And they will move on.
and
Like,
it's
they-
social,
And they
and
did.
it's social
Nobody
media.
remember
Like, I
again.
don't understand.
And
I
where
used
do
to
you want
come
to find
to
me?
and beat me in my house.
Where do you want
Like,
to find me?
okay, I'm skinny. Okay. What again do you want to say? If I have a big forehead,
And then-
okay. I've been hearing that since I was young.
There were also
Okay.
a bunch of like, besides like insults, there's a bunch of like, who are these ones with mics again? I was like, you don't know
Eh.
that I'm your mommy.
That's
Like,
what I felt
Don't be
insulted
today.
about. That's what I felt
Yeah,
insulted
like,
about.
who
Now,
are these ones? Who get
everybody,
these ones mics again?
everybody now has a mic. Now everybody just carry mic and sit down. Bro, no. 5 years, bro.
I'm your mom. Ask Bob Whiskey.
Actual daddy.
Shout out to Bob Whiskey.
Your actual daddy.
No, for real.
I'm going to not necessarily digress, but so what I'm thinking now in the aspect of content creation, lately so far so good. I've seen that probably the easiest or best way or the way to milk or make money off podcasts and all that is by shaming women, fellow women shaming other women in terms of BBL, who has done it, who has not done it, who has slept with this allergy and who has not, like that's stuff. But I'm actually being serious. Like basically, like it just seems like the easiest way, and I'm like, okay, so what do you have to say about that? Seeing that you've been in the business for like 5 years so far so good, and you're giving content that's not necessarily about women, but like music, Afrobeats, and everything that is like for the general public consumption. So like, what do you have to say about that? But like, starting today, it's like 5 years are coming out to talk about another woman. If I go do BBL now, I'm a topic.
I mean, one thing about us is
Yeah.
that if you listen, one thing we always say is stop hating on hot girls. Go
Period.
and find how you can become
Become a
like
hot
them.
girl.
Like,
Yeah.
leave-
So you support
like,
that?
it's a thing where if that's what somebody wants to do with
Stop
their
from the
life,
support things. It's not my
as long as
business.
it's
Yeah.
not affecting you directly.
I'm not applauding you. I'm not worried. I'm not worrying about
but
you.
but you see the thing about this is, first of all, like,
Is it my business?
men do a lot. Let's even say, okay, want to compare. Men do a lot of things for money, quote unquote, that a lot of people can't see because it's not obvious, like to the
it's
physical
open.
eye. Like
Yeah.
they are doing things, they are doing backdoor things, etc. Like nobody is checking you because you're a man and you have to survive. If somebody has to do a BBL because she wants to survive, okay, like what's your business? Is it your body?
I wonder, is it your BB or
And the
L?
funny thing is that I don't even like the fact that people try to draw unnecessary parallel and say things like women do BBL because they try
Because,
to make
bro,
money
But
off
they
it.
do
No,
that.
they don't.
Okay, so what
No,
about
they
the fact
don't.
that they say that it's because of the men they are
No,
That is in
bro.
your house. It's your
See,
parlor. You are
you-
assuming
It's
that.
like to attract the men.
No,
that
but
is
then
out there.
it might
I know
also be
people-
you might also be projecting. Like,
You're
what if I just
projecting.
want my body to look
I
nice?
know people that have done BBLs that have good enough relationships with that. Bro, they just want to look good.
Right.
It's not
Yeah.
about any man. It's not about somebody come out. They just want to look good, bro.
Listen. Whether or not you do BBL as a woman, you would attract a man.
Period. Period.
Even if you don't do
Even if you
BBL.
don't do BBL.
Okay, so let's
don't do
move
BBL.
it from BBL. What about all this talk about? Okay, he's giving me 5K as per I've asked him for money and he sent
No,
me
but
5K.
for me,
this kind of thing.
for me,
Yeah,
like,
I don't watch those videos. I don't
Yeah.
do them
Very
because I don't
annoying.
like.
Why is he annoying?
and for me, it's
Because
like
using my
But
brain.
mind your business. Like
And-
how
exactly.
I just don't like how Nigerians think that because you see something on the internet, because you follow me on Instagram, or because
You
you,
know
see
me.
my tweets, you have an opinion on my life. Like if I
Exactly.
decide tomorrow
Right.
that I want to go and do BBL and I want to use it for a man and I want
It's not your
him to give me
business. I don't owe you an
5K, 10K,
explanation.
it doesn't affect you.
and
I
I
don't
feel
want an
like, and also
explanation.
cut your coat according to your size, bro.
hating.
And find
Babes
something else
that
to speak
do-
about.
Babes that do BBL are not in the class of people on Twitter that
Yeah,
are complaining
5K.
They're not
about
Twitter.
5K.
They don't
Like,
even see Twitter.
bro, they are not their target audience.
They are not. Stay in your earnings.
And that's like so when they were insulting us like you asked that time, I just thought that like, do you really think that like all these things that you're saying, like I'm
It's
here,
affecting
I'm
me.
watching TV, I'm crossing my
Catching
legs,
it,
I'm
chopping
eating
a sea, like I'm chilling.
I'm chilling.
I know what I want to eat when I want to eat.
You understand? Like,
I'm on
so, like,
chilling.
I just think
I
Nigeria
get.
just like find where to put your frustration. Like find something else to go to the gym, go and walk, like run around,
Leave
like,
me
and touch grass.
touch grass. You understand? Like leave people alone. Like
Yeah.
I
stop
generally
hitting on hot girls.
I generally think that people need to leave women alone.
Yeah.
Stop worrying, stop bothering, stop thinking about them. Just leave them
Like
alone.
you see the way some people
Okay.
carry like the matter on their head. I'm just like when Kim Kardashian said that she's taking all the things and people were angry that younger girls. Sorry, I always tell people I'm not your role model. Like if I
Nobody's
do
your
it, I
role
didn't ask you
model.
to do it. Like
Right.
if she did it, how does
Who
that
sent
affect
you?
you? Like
Now that she has moved on, go and move your own now.
and you should be a support. Should be that's your role model. Like
Right.
leave
Okay,
people
fine.
alone.
But if we switch from all this BBL talk into now back to podcasting as women, we rarely see that. You've said that your focus is on Afrobeat music scene basically, and then there are women that talk about the relationship aspect and just basically everything. But we rarely see that there's that political side of women coming to talk about it on podcasts.
There are people
No, but
shall.
see, you see,
Yeah.
even-
There are, but it's like no, it's not
No,
as
but
huge.
even-
What does that say?
even the clips that we see, if you actually are interested in knowing what these people are talking about and
Yeah.
you watch the full things, you will know that is not the
That's
only
not-
thing that they speak
Yeah.
about.
That's another thing.
And that was my issue with that
Clickbait.
famous podcast with the three women. I was like, I don't like the way. I understand that what
Same
they
with
said
the
was.
three women.
I understand that what like something they were saying sounded controversial, but like if you actually listen to what they're saying, or if you paid attention to how the topic started or ended, like
It said different
They
things.
said
like-
completely different things to
Yes.
what everybody on social media
understand?
carried to now
Right.
say, oh, this girl, like, and even if, right, for me, it's everybody has an opinion and how they want to live their lives and how they do their things. What rights do you have to drag and bully somebody for the way they want to live their? If you say that every night you want to eat eba and okra and go to bed at 10 o'clock,
At the end
That's
of
you.
can I tell you not
where
to
did
do
they
that?
bring that?
Like, can I tell you not to do that? No,
I
so
do used to do that.
I mean, they're loading. But like, everybody has their opinions. The way it's just that because obviously we do have too much access to each other.
yeah, I say it all the time.
That's all.
We have too much
No boundaries
access.
and all of
Yeah.
that.
That's
right?
all.
And I blame the internet. The
boundaries.
internet, because you have data, I think you have the right to have an opinion on. What did I say in the last episode, like about I can't remember what celebrity couple was like. You should mind your. If they want to break up, they want
Cardi
to
B
break
had
up.
upset.
Like mind your business.
Wow.
Please.
All right, as we're about to wrap things up, I mean, when you have good conversations, it feels like time. When did we start this conversation? But this has really been amazing, and there's some people that just want to also start a podcast, and they don't just want to be the
Right.
ones tagged with I just get money, I buy mine. Do you understand? How do you think they can stand out
So
as a
for me, right, it's if you are going to start a podcast, you first of all have to sit down and intentionally think about what your topic of discussion is going to be. Now, when you decide what that topic of discussion is going to be, is it sustainable in the long term, or is it something that after like 3 or 4 episodes you don't have anything else to talk about? Once you're able to establish that it's sustainable in the long term, it's now just carefully curating and building your topics and whatever it is you talk about according to that. Now, there are many podcasts that are just generalized. You guys are on radio every day. You have to find what to talk about. It's the same way somebody is going to decide to record there are things to talk about. You just have to be able to curate it in a way where at least you are speaking to a certain sector of people that are interested in that and will continue to listen to you over time. Yeah.
And then please stay consistent.
Yes,
Like it's not
please,
easy at
oh.
all. Some days you
Not.
don't want to, but if you actually want to get far, then stay consistent so that people remember. And please promote yourself. Nobody is going to promote your thing.
People self-sabotage a lot.
Yeah.
Like they feel, oh, I'm not good enough.
And I understand. Sometimes it feels like, what am I really?
What am I even saying?
I understand.
What
But
are you
like,
saying?
don't worry. Like you
what
know.
I'm saying doesn't make sense. People are not listening.
Yeah.
No, it's also good to think that way. Check yourself. Like
right?
do a lot of like self, like
Yeah.
be
And
self-aware. Like know if maybe I
Yeah.
shouldn't be speaking about things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And being consistent keeps in people's faces. Like every week is there are new
expecting
people
something
that
new.
they are expecting something. There are people that they will discover you every week. Like we're coming from SoundCloud. Think about it, like SoundCloud days where people were so people like there's people will listen as long as you give them something to listen to.
Yeah. Right?
Like I don't listen to podcasts, but like honestly, like there are people out there that want like it helps them with their day. Some people say, oh, as I'm walking to school,
Some
I'm
people
driving
to
to
work
work,
out.
like
Yep.
you understand, or as I'm washing dishes, like just which is fair enough.
So now let me give an instance. So there's somebody who is doing like a beauty content. There are several of that already, and then you start and you're like having like 5 just listeners every other time that you post.
No.
Is that enough to give you motivation to keep going?
You
Because
cannot wake up and expect to
have
blow-
like 100.
like
Our first episode had like I think it was like 200 or 300 listens. Then from there, obviously, of course, the first episode is exciting. Everybody is
Even you, the ginger, you used to
used to pray. We used to pray for 100 days a week.
After
Thank
that,
God.
300 used to go down. There was a time that we used to pray for 100 listens a week. That's in if we get 100, at least 100 people are listening.
Now,
So
before I even post, because I'm social media manager for us, follow us,
Awesome.
but before like I even post, people have already messaged me that this thing that is I'm like what time is it that you've already listened? Like so
The
yeah.
numbers now are unimaginable.
Of course, FS Uncensored on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on TikTok, on YouTube.
Everywhere.
Personal handles.
Simibadiru across all platforms.
Very easy. Mine is Faye AB, which is FEYYABB. But if you go to FNS Uncensored or Simi's page, you find me.
You can.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys for having us. It was
Thank you.
fun.
Again.
Yeah, we should for sure.
All right, so go check them out. F&S Uncensored across all social media platforms, and you can find Simi Badiru at Simi Badiru and Faye Yab. Number one lifestyle station 61051. Listen to their podcast. Spend your money on them. I beg.
I beg you.